This is great, right? This will definitely help interested candidates to access relevant information and resources to prepare for interviews using custom guides and training resources. To introduce you to some of these job profiles and to our culture, we want you to meet some of our fellow Amazonians. Hear from them about what it is like to work at Amazon.
Hello everyone and a big welcome to all the attendees. I am Deepthi Bala and I lead HR for Amazon corporate and consumer teams across APAC and MENA region. It is great to be part of this inaugural Career Day event in India and be able to hear so many wonderful stories from leaders and colleagues across Amazon. As a nation, India has a plethora of emerging talent who will most certainly shape the next few decades. The large group of individuals exhibit skill sets, capability, and aspirations like no other, and their potential is unmatched. These individuals will not only turn out to be great leaders, thinkers, and doers at their organization, but will also transform how we envisage the workplace for the future. Needless to say, diversity, equity, and inclusion will remain an integral part of the workplace. In fact, at Amazon, it is the diversity of thought that enable us to deliver continuous value to our customers and also align with our mission to be Earth's most customer-centric company. Before we begin our panel discussion, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the year that went by. Over the last 17-18 months, we have seen the world around us changing rapidly. It's been tough for everyone. However, these unprecedented times have made us resilient and enabled us to emerge stronger and shape a new normal personally and professionally. As an organization, Amazon too experienced many changes and evolved. We significantly strengthened our support for communities around us as well as employees and their families. I must say personally, it was a humbling experience for me to see employees come forward and help each other in the hour of need. And that truly signifies the spirit of Amazon. Let's start by seeing a short video which will give you a peek into our team spirit during this time.
The second wave of COVID-19 overwhelmed the nation. Social media feeds were full of appeals for medical assistance. It was in these unprecedented times that we remained steadfast in our commitment towards the nation and our employees. We rolled out various measures to safeguard the health and safety of our employees. We continue to strengthen and support our employees and their families, focusing on their physical and mental health. Amidst all this, it was heartwarming to witness Amazonians step forward as COVID warriors.
We are able to facilitate and ease off the burden of the employee requests coming in for hospital beds, medicines, ambulance support, oxygen availability, etc.
Amongst all the madness, what keeps me going is the satisfaction of helping my fellow Amazonians.
Wonderful opportunity to be a COVID warrior.
These warriors went beyond their call of duty to offer support to find hospital beds, oxygen support, plasma donors, ambulance support for their colleagues in India and employees based internationally with dependents in India. Vaccination is a key weapon in our battle against the virus, and we are determined to make it an accessible choice for all our employees.
Amazon is going the extra mile to support its employees.
The vaccination drive was very well organized.
The process जो यहाँ पे जो follow हुआ वो बहुत ही smooth और बहुत ही streamlined था.
The pandemic has made us realize how critical it is to embrace our humanity. Let's rise to the occasion and make this the norm.
Thank you. As you can see, we leveraged the collective strength of Amazon family and stood firmly with each other in the time of severe crisis. The passion to make lives better for communities, partners, colleagues exemplifies Amazon culture centered on customer obsession and continuous endeavor to be Earth's best employer. Speaking about culture, many of you might be wondering what is it like to work at Amazon? As an employee who has been in the organization for over 10 years now, I can surely say that no 2 days are same, and it always feels like day one. These new experiences, learnings, and challenges enable us to grow and thrive. To give you a better understanding, we've put together a panel of employees from different parts of life who will share with you their journey with Amazon and has enabled them to broaden their horizon and push themselves to be the best versions of themselves. To begin with, our first panelist is Aruna, Senior Manager Product and Tech at Amazon. In her role, Aruna is leading product, tech, and marketing for Amazon Mini TV, a free ad supported video streaming services within Amazon Shopping app. She's been at Amazon for nearly 7 years, during which she's been part of the Prime business and was also the technical advisor to Amit Agarwal, our global senior VP and country head. Welcome to you, Aruna.
Thanks, Lipti.
Next is Venkat Krishna Rao, who's the head for distribution and business planning at Prime Video. Venkat has been part of Amazon family for around 5 years, during which he's grown across job families. He has led finance and analytics and also been part of the Prime Video team. Currently, he's leading the portfolio, looking at building new consumption models for Prime Video. Welcome, Venkat.
Thank you, Deepthi.
Last but not the least, we have Aditya. He's the Customer Support Operation Manager. Aditya joined us 3 years back and has played key role in setting up virtual contact center site in Calcutta in 2019. Aditya is also a part of the team that has led Kolkata Glamazon chapter launch. Glamazon in Amazon is the network of LGBTQ plus employee. Welcome, Aditya.
Thank you, Deepthi.
Thank you all for joining us. And without much ado, let me begin with you, Aruna. Aruna, as you know, customer obsession is one of the key leadership principles. Can you please share with our audience the practical application of leadership principle and how it guides you in everyday decision making?
Right. Thanks for that question, Deepthi. I think, customer obsession is definitely an upfront and integral part of anything that we do absolutely at Amazon. I think couple of mechanisms that help us, practice this on a very practical way on a day-to-day basis. A couple of things that definitely work is having a PR FAQ, which has a very clear write-up of how you will sort of announce the feature or the business that you are going ahead with to our customers. It also has a very clear set of customer FAQs that what is this feature about? How will it benefit me? What do I need to pay for it? Why should I, opt for it? And how does it differentiate from competitors? Are some of the questions that we definitely feel that customers ask, and the PR FAQ should address that up front and center before you get into the nitty-gritties of how will you go about this and what is the proposed PNL or other aspects. So that's one of the key mechanisms for absolutely anything that we do with Amazon and whenever we are starting anything new. The second mechanism which helps in decision making, which I practice pretty much on a daily basis, is project prioritization. The thumb rule that we always use in terms of prioritizing projects, because resources are always limited and you have to deliver something in specific timelines. So the thumb rule that we always use is to prioritize customer trust busters first before we even prioritize projects that will lead to very high business impact. First, you address those, and then the next set of projects is prioritized based on a combination of what is the customer impact it will drive and what are the timelines will it take in terms of implementation. And there will always be a juggle that you will have to do in terms of what is short term and what is long term. One thing which sort of I've learned at Amazon is never let good be the enemy of best. You always need to make incremental steps towards getting towards the best. So you need to have a very good way in terms of how you invent and simplify, prioritize, the phases of your various projects or any features that you are trying to build, because everything incrementally that you build definitely has a positive customer impact. So I think these are some of the ways that I do apply customer obsession on a daily basis.
Thank you so much, Aruna, for sharing that. Coming to you, Venkat, which is your favorite leadership principle? And if you could also talk about how you've applied in your critical decision making.
So, Deepthi, my favorite leadership principle is think big, which basically says that how do you kind of think without a constraint, without like really be boxed with the current realities. And when I kind of look back to when we started off Prime Video like 5 years back, I'm really happy that our leaders and we took that call, because that time like Prime Video was a very small service, and we wanted to be the really most loved video service in the country. So the way we kind of started thinking about that time is like, if you remember TV shows that time, like you had those broadcasters TV shows just churning out day in and day out. So we said that, hey, like that is not something which we want to do. And then we said that, hey, what we want to basically do is like really raise the bar of production of TV shows to cinematic quality, bring in talent which is like really strong, almost like Bollywood cinema kind of talent. And not only that, but the other important thing is like, how do we kind of we bring stories which are not really like talked about, like which the customers will really like really strong stories. So a combination of all that you see today in our service, which is your Mirzapur and Patal Lok and FOMO Shots Please, Bandish Bandits, and all those great shows which we are able to deliver now. And I could basically think back of like 5 years back how it really helped us. The second thing which we kind of did was like, how do we really like bring in blockbuster movies on our service? And again, that time, like for a video streaming service to do that was not like in India, at least, like it was not something which people naturally assumed. But again, like we made sure that we really bring big movies, cater to not only like the Hindi speaking population, but really like go and like cater to every segment of the Indian population. And that's how we thought about a plan to have like movies in 10 different languages today on our service, like Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, Marathi, like Kannada, everything, right? And the last but not least, like when COVID hit and like people couldn't go to theaters, we said that, hey, how can we basically bring movie premieres directly on people's service? So those are like things which like our leaders always challenge us to think big and not be constrained by what was available there. And I'm really happy that like we're able to bring in movies like say Padmavat or Sher Shah, which we kind of launched recently, or regional movies like Surai Putru or Master. So yeah, like that's my favorite leadership principle. Thank you.
Very interesting story, and I can make out that you all had to really think big in order to make sure that we are different and we are there is no boundaries. Coming to you, Aditya, can you talk about any one project that has helped you shape your experiences and subsequently defined your journey with Amazon India?
Sure, Deepti, thanks for the question. So I'm part of the team that has launched the LGBTQIA plus community and the affinity group at VCS Kolkata. And since I am the part of the community itself, the launch that we did at Kolkata, it was focused on creating awareness about the community and also onboard members, and not just members but allies also, that help carry the message of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm also the part of the DEI pillar at CS India. And what we do through this pillar is that we help drive focus on LGBTQIA community. And how do we do that? We help drive spreading awareness about the community through multiple talk shows or emails or things like that. We also do an onboarding talent pool that is part of the community and creating avenues to retain the talent pool. Recently, we celebrated the Pride Month, during which I hosted a fireside chat with leaders from different organizations which are part of the community. The perspectives of these leaders help broaden our horizon and the knowledge about the challenges that people from the community face and how any organization can make a small but impactful change in how they operate. This also ties back to Amazon's vision of to be the Earth's most customer-centric company.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And of course, our new leadership principle of, being one of the best employer, comes true in this form that, we always need to be, inclusive and diverse organization. Coming back to you, Aruna, you've played a key role in bringing some first ever initiatives and products to life. I would love to talk to you about your experiences, challenges, learnings through some of these milestones across Prime, Mini TV, and others. What has been your success philosophy through these?
Thanks, Deepthi. I've been very fortunate, both as part of the Prime Delivery Experience team, which was the first team that I was a part of, and now with Mini TV, to launch projects and businesses which are, first in India and first at Amazon. It's been incredibly hard, but it's been very, very rewarding as well. I think couple of areas that helped me. I wouldn't call it constant success, but couple of areas that have helped me during this process is that you need to have a very crisp and clear articulation of what we are trying to achieve, and that's where the PRFAQ, like I mentioned before, helps a lot because it clearly brings out the nuances of why we are doing something which is different from what Amazon has done in most of the established locales. Why is the Indian landscape different in certain areas? So if I were to go back to my Prime Delivery Experience days, the transportation challenges in the country really impact the speed at which we are able to deliver the products to our customers. So how do I make it easy for customers to discover products that can be delivered to them fast? So those are areas that we had to bring together in the PRFAQ to work with several partner teams to first educate them and tell them in terms of what is the problem we are trying to solve and why is it different. uh, a lot of times you will come across a lot of pushback because you are sort of challenging the way in terms of how things have been done in different locales or in other established locales. But my guidance there is not to look at it negatively. You should accept feedback from subject matter experts in a very respectful manner, and incorporate that feedback, because once you incorporate those, it just strengthens your case further in terms of how you should be looking at that problem. And it also helps you build a great partnership with the team because they also realize that you have accepted some feedback which is valid and you're trying to incorporate that as part of the way you are trying to implement the solution. Second is, you will continue to discover a lot of unknowns during the implementation stage, which you haven't thought about or factored before. You will need to sort of patiently work through those, constantly invent and simplify, constantly, phase out how you are looking at the end deliverables as well, so that you can continue to make incremental progress. And the last thing is, like, continue to build on what you have already built, because there are always nuances and facets which will keep changing in the marketplace, and you will need to continue to improvise. And so the base that you have already built, and if you continue to improvise on top of it, will make the customer impact much, much larger. So yeah, I think that sort of has worked for me in my career at Amazon so far.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Aruna. I remember the days when I joined Amazon. Initially, everybody used to give you feedback. This is the Amazon way of doing things. This is the Amazon way of doing things. And I would keep wondering whether, what should I do with all this feedback? And slowly I realized that there is the process through which you unlearn and relearn Amazon way of doing things. And you're very right. The more feedback that you do or get, you kind of tweak it and make your whatever PRFAQ you're trying to put together, make it more crisper and more sharper. So thank you so much for sharing that story. Venkat, coming back to you, your journey with Amazon has seen multiple hats. In fact, If you could talk about one initiative at Amazon that you believe has played one of the most defining role in enabling you expand your skill sets and transition across roles. I think a lot of people watching this today would be interested to know whether they can move across different roles. So, would love to hear your insights around that.
Sure. Thanks, Dipti. So just to give context, so I joined Prime Video 5 years back as head of finance. And then I took on the role of overseeing analytics, and then from there I moved into taking a marketing role, which is a living room device partnership marketing. I'm also involved in launching new initiatives, and also temporarily overseeing acquisition within Prime Video. And it's been like a fantastic journey. There's not one thing, but there are a lot of things which kind of makes it possible in Amazon for people like me to explore different avenues or like build different skill sets. I would really start from a process which we have in Amazon called as career growth plan discussions, which kind of forces you to, and there's a very good tool which kind of forces you to introspect on what you want to do, like 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. Where is your heart really at? I remember like doing that process 2 years into Prime Video, and like having that discussion with my manager and my business partner, saying that, hey, like I really want to get into a business role. And then like they've been like super supportive about that, and that is something which I really love about Amazon. And then my manager actually was like super invested in this. Then he really helped me think about like how I should basically change into a role, because I had no background on marketing or product or anything. So he really charted a way out for me on how I will basically like move from finance into a business role. And then like there are a lot of other things like for example, I remember in my first few meetings, I used to sit down and I had no clue like what how to contribute into product feature discussion, or like a user journey discussion, or like on-device marketing, like what are the things which one needs to like look forward, or marketing innovation or communication strategy. But the good part is that like in Amazon, like the peers are really helpful, and I remember that time like putting one-on-ones on people's calendars and like really like asking some very fundamental and basic questions. I think the trick there is not to feel shy about it. Like while I could see that I could say that like I was fair bit of knowledge on the finance side, but on this side, like I had no knowledge. So really sitting down and like asking those questions. We have wiki within Amazon, like that puts out a lot of good information out there which one can go through. And like Aruna said, like we have peer FAQ. So I used to basically sit down. That used to like really give me hey, like what we are doing and what is the customer proposition, etc. And the last thing which I want to call out here, Dipti, is the mentorship guidance you get. Like I have like really good mentors who have been like mentoring me in this journey so far, and it has been like fantastic. So like I said, there are a lot of enabling factors within Amazon which really makes it possible for you to do something like this.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Really nice to hear that. So let me change little gears and talk about our diverse talent. Coming to you, Aditya. How do you think initiatives, including the Glamazon, set precedents for new talents from different communities to bring their authentic selves to the large organization?
Sure. Thanks for the question, Deepthi. So let me first, tell what Glamazon is all about. So Glamazon is an Amazon affinity group or an employee network for anyone interested in the LGBTQIA plus issues, events, meetings, and information. Our motto is all are welcome. So we invite all Amazonians to join us in a community focused on love and gender identities outside the heterosexual default. So what do we do? Glamazon and other affinity groups help attract and retain talents in two ways. The first way is build awareness about the affinity group so that the leaders create safe workplaces for our employees. And secondly, create leaders that not only promote the culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but also develop future leaders in the organization who continue to promote diversity. That's one. The other is Glamazon also advocates for internal and external policies that focuses on the LGBTQIA plus employees' needs. Some of them, some of the steps that we have taken through this are insurance benefits for the same gender partner. So at Amazon, we now insure same gender partners. We also have something very unique, which is a gender reassignment surgery support. So in case you, recognize yourself as a different gender than what you were born into, Amazon supports the gender reassignment surgery. We also have something as gender neutral policies. Our policies are now being reworded wherein the gender specific he, she is getting replaced by they, it, and things like that. Last but not the least, in our corporate offices, we also have something called as gender neutral washrooms. So that's one of few things that Glamazon as a whole is doing for the organization.
Thank you so much, and really nice of you to share all those initiatives. For the HR, it is music that people are aware about these policies and they are using it. And I would really encourage more and more diverse people to, come and join us and, make our organization truly diverse. Moving on, I think as we come to the end of this sessions, one last question to each one of you. I'd like to start by asking Venkat, what would be your typical day at Amazon look like? If you could just describe that, because a lot of people listening to the session today would be very keen to understand as to how is Amazon, as an organization, what does a typical day look like? And there are a lot of myths that can be broken by just hearing you today.
Sure, Dipti. Like we said, no 2 days are alike in Amazon. Like there's just the diversity and the variety of the work which you get to do in Amazon is just so amazing. Like if I'm to take up maybe like tomorrow what I have in my calendar which I want to do, I think we are going to basically start with reading up customer anecdotes on the living room side. Basically, like people who watch Prime Video on their smart TVs, like what do they have to give feedback on? Like, and it can range anything from like they're not able to switch on Prime Video, or the content is good, or some recommendation on some feature they want to do. Right, that's the typical thing which we have seen. From there on, like I think the second meeting which we have is really brainstorming on a long-term plan for one of our businesses. Really thinking about 3 years down the line how we want to do, because we have a long-range planning which happens in Amazon. Then we have a meeting on marketing plan launch for an upcoming movie Cinderella, which is going to star Camila Cabello. That's something which I'm really look forward to reviewing how we are going to launch that. That's a worldwide Amazon original movie which we have. And finally, I also have one-on-ones with two of my teammates. So we use that time to basically talk about the work and how I can help them unblock, as well as any other things which we want to discuss to make progress.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Venkat, for sharing that. Aditya, I might come to you next. You've played a key role in setting up Kolkata VCS site and build the team with new hirings. Tell us what makes the new candidates stand out during an interview process at Amazon.
Sure. Thanks, Deepthi. I think, because when we hire anyone at Amazon, we not only look at the current level that they're being interviewed for, but the capability to move to the next level as well. And considering that in mind, I think the following two attributes is what I look for in a candidate. The first is the ability to look for multiple paths to reach a goal. See, while the end result is very, very important, having multiple options to execute the solution is equally important for me. And as they say in Amazon, it is okay to fail and learn. It's a key trait in any leader or any future leader. That's one. The second ability that we look at is to know what a two-way door decision is and what is not. Two-way door decisions are very important as they're not permanent, and therefore they can be reversed in case the expected solution is not being met. Speed of decision matters a lot at Amazon, and therefore it's very, very important for a leader to be very nimble and swift in taking decisions that really result and helps us in delivering results.
Awesome. Great. Aruna, last but not the least, people who are listening to us today would like to know how to be an effective professional and team player in a virtual environment. So, any tips you would like to share?
Yeah, actually, it's a bit difficult. I won't say I have any foolproof solutions because the borders of work and home have sort of blurred out completely, and there is no end time, and it's difficult. I mean, there's a lot of self-discipline required, which I am trying myself to implement. I think just mandating those break hours sort of help, like not doing any meetings during lunch hour, just taking that 1 hour break for yourself and in the evening, and making that known to your teams, or even applying it for your team sort of helps just give you that that thing to just escape away from what you're doing. And yeah, I mean, try to find some interests or hobbies that you can easily exercise as you continue through home, and what really gives you that joy. So try to get some time out of it, at least during the weekends. I think these two sort of help you at least on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you so much, Aruna. But before you all leave, there is a set of rapid fire questions for all three of you. And as the name may suggest, the questions have to be answered immediately. So don't think too much about it and answer maybe just in a word of couple of words. The first question would be, describe your journey with Amazon in one word.
Okay, well, it's a phrase. It's work hard, have fun, make history.
Wow, yeah, that's the tagline too. Thanks so much, Aruna.
I would call it a roller coaster, honestly.
Okay, wonderful, Venkat.
I would call it fulfilling and
Awesome,
satisfying.
wonderful. In one line, if you had to tell us what do you love about working at Amazon, one word, one line.
Okay. Okay. At Amazon, we start with the customer and work backwards. So while we pay attention to competitors, we obsess over customers.
Wonderful. Aruna?
Yeah, just going by my experience, I think this organization has given me an opportunity to try out so many different things, which I have no absolutely background or experience of, and that's one of the areas that I really like about this company.
Wonderful. Venkat?
Learning new things every day, Dipti, like that's something which I love about Amazon.
Very nice. One thing that you hear newcomers at Amazon say about Amazon.
Uh, okay. From my personal experience also, it's still day one. Amazon is all about unlearn and learn.
Wonderful. Aruna?
Yeah, a lot of newcomers complain to me there are too many acronyms that we use, and just I know there is no set page or document which really lists it down. So we do make it hard, and we do want them to figure it out by themselves. So yeah, too many acronyms.
Wonderful. What about you?
I had an acronym bit, but what I would like to call out is like newcomers have always told me that our onboarding training is really good. Like they really liked it. So that's been a consistent call out to me.
Wonderful. So we all have heard about Avengers and Justice League. Every employee at Amazon is a superhero in their own. So if you had to assign a similar name to your team, what would it be? Let's start with Venkat this time, and then Aruna, and then Aditya.
I would call them challengers.
Challenges. Okay. What about you, Aruna?
I actually not a Justice League type name, but I would call my team like Team Mosaic probably. I think we are all so different, differently colored, but when it comes together, it's a beautiful piece of tile or design. Every color brings out that uniqueness. So I think I would like to call it Team Mosaic.
Wonderful. What about you,
So
Aditya?
I'll call my team Hawkeye, always on target.
Wonderful. Very good. And this is the last, really final question. If you had to describe a typical day at Amazon through a song, what would it be? And you can choose English or Hindi, anything.
Okay.
Whoever wants to start.
Sure. I think I'll say the original soundtrack of Lakshya, Paega jo Lakshya hai tera. Can't sing it.
I like the song Roar by Katy Perry. I think it really aptly describes, when you're down or when you're up and how you sort of react to those phases, and very inspirational song as well.
Wonderful. And
I had the
Ankit?
same. I would think of the same song as Aditya said, like the title song of Lakshya. Like it's just so apt.
Wonderful. So thank you all. I think it was so interesting to hear such diverse views. So thank you, Aruna, Venkat, Aditya, for taking out time, sharing your experiences. In fact, I'm sure the audience would have really taken away quite a lot of, pearls of wisdom from just listening to all of you. And I must say, I myself have, got so many interesting perspectives and so many interesting stories today. As they say, it's still day one. And stay tuned and have a good day. Stay safe. Thank you.